Let me pull up this story from ABC News. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ahmed Arbery Day. That's right, a holiday officially celebrating the second anniversary of the death of Ahmaud Arbery. February 23rd will be permanently recognized as Ahmed Arbery Day in Georgia. They say the Ahmed Arbery Foundation, a mental wellness organization focused on black men that was founded by Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, announced the nonprofit will offer 6 $3,000 scholarships for higher education opportunities to seniors from Arbery's former high school. Now, I want to start by saying that's fantastic. If they're going to give money for kids to scholarships, I'm not a big fan of colleges or anything like that, but if they're trying to genuinely help people, I got no issue there. But talk about the psychotic cult world we live in which Ahmed Arbery is getting a holiday for him. Look, maybe I'll be one of the few people willing to call out as it should be called out. But during the Ahmed Arbery trial, so we just had the 3 individuals in question, McMichaels and the other guy. They're convicted on federal hate crime charges. You've got a story that is very clearly nuanced and contentious, and it is not as clear-cut as the establishment and mainstream media tried to say. The fact is, the narrative of a guy jogging down the street was a total fabrication, a lie to manipulate people. That brings us to a point where now we're having a holiday for this guy. Look, I'm sad the guy lost his life and all that stuff, but it's not so simple. We can say the McMichaels were wrong. The guy who filmed all of it happening, I don't know why he's going to prison, but sure, fine, whatever. Right. The fact is, this is the level of insanity in this country.
I got to say, so the guy with the camera went to jail, I think, because he had a car and he was behind him and they thought he was part of like pinching the guy in, like blocking the guy in. Okay. If that guy's going to jail for using his car as a weapon, think about these truckers. If they go around D.C. and pin the president in while he's trying to give a speech.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, come on. But look what they did to Ahmaud Arbery victim.
No, it's totally different situation.
It totally is, isn't it? Yeah, the guy with the camera's in jail because he had a car there.
Yeah, that's completely
50 feet away from it. And what was the reason he went to jail? Because they said that he was part of it?
We're having a conversation about Ahmed Arbery.
It's a little off topic.
It has nothing to do with truckers.
Well, the camera guy shouldn't have went to jail. I don't think that guy should have went to jail. He was there. But they said that he was pinning Ahmed Arbery in, basically. He was like blocking him from getting away.
And he in no way coordinated with the other men, but it didn't matter because we live in a psychotic cult reality where lunatics, the inmates, are running the asylum.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he got this day faster than George Floyd did.
Yeah, what's up? Is there a George Floyd Day or not?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know if there's even George Floyd Day. Yeah, but the fact that Arbery got it quicker than him, I think.
Look at this. The Georgia General Assembly passed a resolution on February 2nd to permanently declare February 23rd to be Ahmed Arbery Day. I don't know. Look, man, I'm all about justice. I don't like racists. If a group of guys are chasing down a dude who's jogging because he's black, I want to see justice. If they kill him, lock those people up. You go to prison for that, but that's not what happened. The media lied about everything. And you know what's funny is conservatives, many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are complicit in pushing this narrative. And it's fascinating. We've heard it before, but I genuinely think a lot of Republicans, they try and act like they oppose the Democrats, but they're so worried about not being, they're so worried about what the left thinks of them.
Stepping out, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we see Fox News, we saw even, Tulsi Gabbard, I guess she's a progressive. But all of these people are coming out being like, see, what happened here in Georgia was right. And I'm like, what? How are you going to come out and be like, what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse was wrong and the media lied, and now believe the media on this story when it was just patently false? What happened? The story is, I'll simplify it for you. A string of robberies in a neighborhood. Gun gets stolen. Police go door to door saying, this is the guy, with an image of him. He's seen on security camera footage entering someone's house. The prosecutor said that makes him a felony burglary suspect. Under Georgia law, you can citizens arrest someone without probable cause or with only probable cause without actually witnessing it if they're committing a felony. Based on the judge's jury instruction, he said, I don't know, you figure it out. And so the jury decided to go the other way and say they needed to be witnesses. That's the nuance here as per why these guys got convicted. Were the jury instructions correct? But the story about a guy jogging down the street, complete lie. And now the Georgia General Assembly is giving this dude a statewide holiday.
Didn't the guy,
whatever, man.
Wasn't the guy wearing work boots?
Yeah, something like that. Wearing work boots. They said he was jogging. I mean, come on. You know what it is? It's that
literally ABC says he was killed while jogging. in this same article.
But there is several witnesses that came out and spoke on record that they suspected that it was Ahmaud because they've already kind of seen some of the previous behavior leading up to that moment.
That it was a what?
That they believed that it was Arbery doing some of the trespassing, according to some of the neighbors.
It was burglary.
Burglary.
So I made this mistake, and we had a lawyer on. We had, I think it was Andrew Branca, as well as another lawyer. I can't remember. Who did we have on with Branca? With someone else? Anyway.
Cash Patel?
Was it Cash? Right.
Yeah.
And he was, yes, and he was a prosecutor. So I said trespassing, and they said he wasn't a trespassing suspect. When you enter someone's, so I'll tell you guys what we're dealing with. We had a guy drive past 2 no trespassing signs up a 1,000-foot driveway and then enter our house. That is, I think it's 4th degree burglary. That's it.
Wow, okay.
When you break a barrier, when you cross a barrier, it's burglary, at least in Maryland. So when they're saying this guy was trespassing, no. Trespassing is if he stepped on the grass and a sign said no trespassing. Then they can be like, you knew the sign there, you shouldn't have done it. By entering the building, it was now felony burglary. So look, don't think the guy should be dead. Don't think we should have a holiday for him either.
Also,
I mean, this is crazy.
They're encouraging communities to, quote, run with Maud by running 2.23 miles annually on this day. This is from the article. Literally, if the guy is actually running from a burglary and they want to make a day, encourage people to do like a run with the guy who was running from a burglary he just committed. Like how upside down is this reality that they've got people confused like this?
I mean, I don't get it. I mean, if you want to have obviously like a holiday for like a Malcolm X, then of course. But this is...
They're putting up statues of George Floyd. Let me tell you guys something. This is a story that blows my mind.
Thank you.
What?
You're probably going to say something that's going to blow my mind. Right?
I love how you already said thank you.
There was a building with a mural of George Floyd wearing a crown.
Oh yes, that's actually what's it.
And a storm. It was partly cloudy, and a single lightning strike hit only the mural on the side of the building where George Floyd's face was. That blew off. Only the outer portion of the wall. The inner wall remained intact. The roof was undamaged. Witnesses saw the lightning strike. It was reported by meteorologists. How does that happen?
Metallic paint is all I got.
But only the George Floyd.
I guess I don't know.
The whole building was a mural.
Like if they just painted his face with some sort of metallic paint, they just blasted off all the metal.
Or I don't know, man. But the roof wasn't damaged.
You know what I want to say?
And the lightning typically strikes chimneys.
I don't want to glorify people because they got killed. I want to glorify them because of what they did in their life. And if they happen to have been killed unjustly, that's a big part of it.
Right.
But rando people that got offed is not like we celebrate. Okay, thank you. You pointed it out. You celebrate Malcolm X for what he did in his life, not for getting shot. It's what he did in his life that matters.
But look, man, they tear down statues of Hans Christian Heg. They tear down statues of great civil rights leaders. Even Frederick Douglass.
Even Teddy Roosevelt in New York City.
They took that
one of my heroes, man.
But
I love that
Frederick
guy.
Douglass?
A lot of flaws, but I
that
love the
dude's
guy.
amazing.
Yeah, he is.
One of the most epic Americans in the history of this country. He challenged Americans during this is the pre-Civil War era. He said, are you going to live up to the words you wrote in your own Constitution? And that's like smackdown, yo. Like, do you really believe? I can't stand hypocrisy. If you're going to come out and say all men are created equal, we believe in civil rights and liberty, he's going to be like, okay, I challenge you to uphold that. It's brilliant. And they tore his statue down up in Rochester. Now they want to put up holidays for George Floyd statues and murals, holiday for Ahmed Arbery, and the Georgia General Assembly votes this in.
I don't know if you've seen
Whatever,
that one story, Tim. It was actually the Daily Signal. One of our good friends, Mary Margaret, broke the story. There was a Catholic church that had they had like a mural of George Floyd, but as a saint. Oh. And that was like, I was like, wait, what are we doing now?
It's a cult.
He had 5 drugs in his system, according to the coroner.
Yeah. And they had George Floyd like as a saint.
Speedball. The dude should not have lost
driving
his life.
his family around high. Like, come on, the guy was behind the wheel of a car, high as hell.
Let's
celebrate all this movement to like name a day after Ahmaud or putting sane before George Floyd. This just takes whatever you think of the cases in this case, just takes the nuance out of the discussion. Like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you look at a statue of George Floyd or realize that, oh, today is Ahmaud Arbery Day, then you probably by default start thinking that they probably must have done something like good in their life. right?
Yeah, gee,
Right.
or maybe they didn't, and you're like, I want to be a saint. How
wanna
can
be-
I become
yeah,
a saint?
I want to
Oh.
be like that guy. So what it does, it just whitewashes the whole incident, or just again like removes any sort of like gray area from the discussion. Like these were good people who were killed unjustly. That's it.
Let's play a game. Trayvon Martin story initially reported.
Boy.
Lies. In fact, I can't remember which media outlet it was. They actually edited the 911 call from George Zimmerman to make it seem like he was racist. You remember that?
Yeah.
They asked him. George Zimmerman says there's a suspicious-looking guy, and they ask him, "What race is he?" And he goes, "I think he's black." They cut that part out, so it's just George Zimmerman saying, "A suspicious-looking guy, I think he's black." Like that was the sole reason they play these games. They claim Zimmerman's a white dude. He's Hispanic.
Latino.
He's Latino. Then you've got, let's see, Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. Not true. Right? What else do we have? We have obviously Ahmed Arbery. He was just jogging. Not true. George Floyd. Not true.
Not true.
Police footage gets released.
Breonna Taylor.
Not
Yep.
true. None of it is true. These people are evil. They are liars. They are trying to manipulate you to take power. They do these things because it is part of their psychotic culture revolution. Look, we can look at it like a zombie horde, an aimless horde of people who are doing random things for no reason. That may be the case. But if that is the case, then there is a chaotic malignancy growing in this country that is gutting it and destroying it.
Yeah, people.
We have traditions for heroes like Frederick Douglass
Right.
and Harriet Tubman, who did amazing things that we are all proud of and brag about. Yo, we had people going out like Harriet Tubman was like apparently like a badass. She had a gun and she was like super like well trained with how to shoot and everything like that, leading people to freedom. And we're like, that's what we care about. We care about freedom. Frederick Douglass, as I already explained. These are the statues I think. Hans Christian Heg was, my understanding, is not even American. He fought for the North because slavery was a moral evil. He died when he was 30. They tore his statue down. It has nothing to do with racism. It has everything to do with erasing and destroying our heroes, our champions, our traditions.
It's called e-racism. Enough
This
of it.
stuff just man, it makes my blood
I think
boil.
if they had been honest about George Floyd having all those drugs in his system and behind the wheel of a car with his family in the car, it would be it would still be equally as tragic and worth talking about. But it would be a different conversation. We'd be talking about drug addiction and how that is a big problem, fentanyl addiction.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta give an honorable mention to Jussie Smollett.
Oh boy.
man,
one of the
that's
big liars of our
biggest.
time.
That's the biggest.
Congrats,
I'm
Jussie.
shocked he hasn't gotten like a Netflix series.
Is he not in
yet.
prison?
Can we
I'm
hold on a
surprised
minute?
CNN hasn't given him like a role.
Yeah.
How come no one's
Commentator.
done? How come no one's made a Jussie Smollett story? Have they done assuming the story's real, and then dramatizing the incident in question and making a you know how they're doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Yeah.
drama?
Oh, I heard.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. But
The Smollett thing was like embarrassing on multiple levels to like even for them to like sugarcoat it.
I know.
I just think it was
Can we fund this? Can we do like
like a satire out of it? Yeah.
no, totally legit
Legit.
dramatization of his story, like as if it actually happened.
Frame by frame, like him getting out of the subway and the guys pulling up.
You might need to change the names,
Yeah.
and then I think you'd be okay.
Juicy
J-Dog.
Juicy Smoulier.
J Dog.
Yeah.
We'll call him this guy J Dog.
J-Dog.
Yeah.
and I guess it would be better if we did it as a parody, because then like he's in Chicago at 3 a.m. It's 20 degrees out, and then like two fat Deliverance kind of guys are like, "Look at this pretty boy," and walk up, and then it's like he's like, "Oh no, it's Trump supporters," and they're like, "Go Trump," and then they start attacking him or whatever.
I wouldn't believe them more if he would just said that like Kanye attacked them at 2 a.m. in Chicago. I'm like, that's more believable.
Yeah, no, it is.
Kanye's doing
But
out of pocket shit all the time. Yeah.
But it is. I mean, at least Kanye's like he's from the
Yeah, he's
Skyline
from
area.
Chicago. At least.
He has a reason to be there.
He's also bipolar, so you don't know. He probably walks the streets in the middle of the night.
Yo, man. At a certain point, I'm just like, do these people really believe this stuff? Do you see that Canadian MP who said that honk honk is an abbreviation for?
Like High Hitler.
I don't even want to
Oh
say
my
it.
god.
Yeah,
What?
that's what she said. And I saw that and I'm like, dude, no sane person believes that's
Yeah.
true. And anybody who claims to is lying to you.
And also that's like offensive to Jewish people too. It's like,
Yeah,
oh
what if
my
there's
god,
a
the
Jewish-
honk honk.
Yeah. What if there's a Jewish truck driver?
Yeah. So I feel like that's also
Honk,
offensive
honk.
to the Jewish community.
Big
Look
problem
how-
with demonizing language. I would love to not do that. Do you think we can make all the words okay again?
No, come
No,
on,
that's
Ian. You know
all
we're
the
never
words
going
of-
back
Just
now.
that ship
Really?
sailed.
You think that
Yeah,
humanity is that lost? That our
Oh,
language has been
yeah.
that distorted forever?
that ship is sailed.
Dude, look at what they're doing to the Spanish language.
But think about it, Ian. Even in this conversation, we can't say certain words.
And I guess
Because of
I'm already
YouTube's-
brainwashed to think that words mean certain things and they don't really have to.
What?
Like, just because I was told that English means what it means doesn't mean that it has to mean that.
Sure, but words are basically they're tools to describe things. So if we all agree racism means something, it's so that we can convey ideas to each other. The left plays semantic games on purpose to confuse you so you don't know how to communicate properly. It's kind of like this. You're fighting someone, right? If you are the honorable samurai, then you approach honorably from the... Actually, no. Let's do this. The American Revolution. You are the British regular approaching the battlefield with honor, and the Americans are hiding in the brush, and they jump out and just ambush you. That's what the left is doing. They're doing guerrilla tactics in politics. They are trying to make sure you are confused and tripped up and don't know how to engage.
And it seems almost random. Like one day a new word will have some other connotation or be associated. Like,
or my favorite is Wimixin.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you remember this? They changed women with an E to an X, and they said it was inclusive.
How do you even say that out loud? What'd you say?
Wimixin.
Wimixin?
No, it's Wim, W-O-M, accent. So Wimixin.
Okay.
Oh,
Wimixin.
Confusing as hell.
So you could say woman, or you can say Wimixin. They also said you could say Wiminx, which makes no sense because it would be Wimps.
So funny.
Wimskin. Wimixin.
Could you imagine being a guy at a bar and you just walk up to a girl like, "You are the finest woman Xin I've seen in here."
Wimixin.
Like, you are speaking my language.
But so check it out. Imagine you're fighting someone, right? Here's what we're doing in this political battle. We're approaching right up front. We're walking right up to them and saying, "Here's my argument." And then all of a sudden, some guy jumps out from behind us with a bolas and throws it and tangles up our feet, and we fall down, and they run away laughing. They're playing these games. Remember when the Brett Weinstein thing happened up in it was Seattle or
Evergreen College?
Evergreen,
College, yeah.
Just outside of Seattle, I think it was, right? And when the administrators were trying to talk, one of the students goes, "Don't wave your hands at us, it's racist." So he stops, and then they all start laughing at him. They're not serious people. They're playing a power game. And so they'll say, Latinx, Latinx or whatever. Like, no, like, was it 3% of Spanish people identify with using those terms? Using those words?
What does it even mean?
No, I mean, that's like the funniest thing to me because it's like, obviously I'm Latino, but just being, I couldn't even imagine some like white liberal going up to my dad and being like, "You're a Latinx." And my dad's like,
Oh, wait.
Okay.
You speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Can you speak Spanish putting an X at the end of any gendered word? Like if it's gonna have an O or an A, it's got to be X.
I don't know. I don't even think you could even do that. But
it would be the most insane thing ever to try and speak that way.
I mean, it's just the Latinx thing is like probably the most funniest thing to me because it's like you have these white liberal kids who like go to college at these universities telling working class Latinos what they should be called, and the thing is that these Latinos are like, you're like, "Hey, you're a Latinx." They're like, "Look, man, I just got to get back to work. I got to pay bills. I'm not even in this discison." Like,
no, they just go, "Okay."
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What is it? What is Latinx?
So
it's I guess it's a term made by white liberals,
white Germanic language speaking liberals.
So it's like a version of taking the non-binary out of it. So you can't say Latino, Latina. So Latino
Spanish language is very Spanish language is very gendered. So like for instance, like if you say like, "Hey, this is mi hijo," that's my son. This is mi hija, that's my daughter. So everything is like that. Everything is gendered. So it's so weird that I don't know why they wanted it. Why not make the Asians say Asian X or something? I don't know why.
Hey, you know what? And I want to say this too. I want to say I think that Spanish is sexist against men. You know why?
Also,
let me ask you a question, Jorge. What does niñas mean?
It's girls.
Like little girls.
Yeah.
Like children.
Yeah.
Okay, what does niños mean?
Like little boys.
Or
niños?
Yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going.
What else could it mean?
It could also be kids.
So
it could also be like, "Hey, these are those niños." So you could be like, "Oh, these are kids."
So let me ask you.
Like all girls.
If there was a group of 10 boys and 10 girls all playing, how would you describe that? Niños?
Niños.
So hold on a minute. You mean to tell me that in the Spanish language, girls get their own special words and can use the masculine as well? Well, that sounds they get special privileges. Special descriptors that the males don't get. I'm kidding, by the way, but you see the girl.
No, that's a game you can play though.
Is there some value to removing gender from the language?
How?
Well, Mussolini was like, the national river of Italy was feminine, and he was like, no, we are strong masculine country, and he changed it to a masculine word, and then they changed the word.
Just Ninixes.
Is that necessary? that psychological power. In Arabic, they actually changed the language when they talk to a girl. They use different words for women.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Me gotex bocus. Like, what are you going to do to get rid of the gendered language? Like, just change the word? Got. Me got.
You could use the same word. Like, you don't have to. No, we have different words for man and woman.
Who cares that Latin romance languages are gendered?
Well, like you said, it says if there's a boy and a girl playing together, you refer to them as with the male word. It's kind of like, why? Why even
not?
have it there to begin with?
Then what are you going to say, Ninixes?
Children, like just
Kids.
But that's so you see, like, this is the problem with the progressives telling Spanish speakers the words they have to use because they're politically incorrect.
Where does it come from? It comes from Latin, right? The gender stuff from the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm. So like even French
And romance
and Italian
and
and
Roman.
Portuguese, they have gendered language as well.
Yeah, it all comes from Latin, and that was a highly patriarchal society. I don't know. Maybe there's something to it.
Maybe the progressives are right, and Spanish people should just speak the way they're told.
Maybe the Romans built the Catholic Church and patriarchal language on purpose.
How is this not the epitome of white supremacy that white wealthy liberals are telling working class Spanish people that their language is wrong?
Yeah, it feels pretty white knighty.
That's why I'm glad the polling shows it only has like 2 to 3% support. So. But it's not working, and it's a huge turnoff.
As a native speaker of Spanish, you don't think there's any? Have you ever thought like that's weird or anything?
I mean, to me, it's completely normal. I think. I mean, like I said, I've been raised like that. It's a completely normal thing. Yeah, I mean, that's to me. Like I said, the Latinx. I mean, all it does is actually just hurt the left side because it just turns off those voters, and the polling, shows that. And I think a lot of people forget that a lot of these immigrant families, whether they're coming from Latin America or from China or India, they're even more conservative than your American conservative. So when you push this type of language, it's a huge turnoff. And then all of a sudden, those same parents are like, wait a minute, this is a little weird. And then they put their kids in public school, and then now they see that their kids are being taught, transgenderism and kind of sexual education. It's a huge turnoff. And that one thing that me and Sonia kind of investigated a little bit last year was all that sexual education or Latinx and stuff like that actually led to the Republican win in Virginia for Glenn Youngkin and that parent uprising. I think if you watch mainstream media, you would have thought like, oh man, all those parents in Loudoun County are white supremacist parents. The majority of them are like Salvadorian and Indian parents who are like, we don't want this.
It looks like Jersey up there.
Yeah. Well, do you guys remember? I think it was in Birmingham in the UK. A bunch of devout Muslims came out to protest the schools because the schools were doing LGBTQ curriculum. And that created a really weird conflict because then all of a sudden you had these LGBT activists coming out, walking up to niqab wearing women being like, we're doing this for you.
Yeah, it's
and
funny.
they're like, we hate you.
Yeah.
Stop this. And it's just like,
I have been to Birmingham, and it's the funny thing, like when you walk the streets, there are like particular areas where you can tell that Bangladeshi people or like Muslim people live here, and they live their own lives. They don't want to be bothered. They have their own little small mom and pop shops, and they send their kids to the same public school where the rest of the Birmingham people go, and they just want to be left alone, right? And up comes and like in UK, public education is completely different than the States insofar as that thinking of like LGBT stuff and thinking about races like race stuff is so part of their curriculum, right, from the get-go. So, but these people are not used to that. So when you try to teach a Bangladeshi second-generation kid that, hey, you got to use this language, hey, you can't say that thing, hey, there is no boy and girl, and he comes back and tells his parents, it's just like a whole different environment. Like you think that stuff is awkward in the States, but in UK, there is like no conservative political ground up school movement like Turning Point or whatever in UK. So like there's no representation of like the other side of thinking. So the immigrant population is just like in a really like no man's land there.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Now, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about. So you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.